Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. Today we're going to be talking about what India's bowling combination can be. That is the main highlight of our talk tonight. And of course, Rohit Juglan, who is in London and now is traveling to Beckenham, will be giving us all the updates. He has sent us a little clip to be used in the show. So of course, we will get all the updates from what India did in their unofficial outing at the Lord's Cricket Ground. So we'll get that. But first, let me introduce my guests, Bharat Ramraj and Shomik, and I am Gargi, of course. We'll also be, talking about what Bharat Arun said about the bowling combination, what he thinks, how can Jasprit Bumrah play all five Test matches, and of course, how what the bowling combination can look like. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let me start with Bharat. Bharat, at this point, when we talk about the first Test match, what do you think the bowling combination can be?
Oh, that's straight away tough question. Yes, obviously, Bumrah one, Siraj two. I will take Prasidh Krishna three. The fourth one is little tougher. Shardul Thakur is bowling with better rhythm today in that England Lions vs India A match. I will think of him because see, when it comes to England, it also depends on the weather. There could be some moisture underneath. Just before the Leeds test, there could be some rain. There could be some moisture underneath. Then you would want to pick an extra seam bowling all rounder. So the favorite would be Shardul Thakur for now because considering that there's always a chance of rain, there's always a chance of some moisture coming into play, just like what we are seeing today in that England Lions versus India A match. There was some rain, and suddenly there is enough moisture, and the ball is moving more off the deck than in the air. So I would say Shardul Thakur is number four, and number five, obviously, Jadeja. If Nitish Reddy has to be picked at number six, again, it comes down to maybe Jurel versus Nitish Reddy. They might go for Jurel. Then it is mainly for his batting, mainly for what he did in Australia with the bat in hand when he got that 100 at MCG, because I don't consider him as someone who can be a part of five-man attack. He can give you that 6 7 overs, a little bit of wobble, can take you that odd wicket, get you that odd wicket, which is great. But he's not a frontline bowler. So that would be my attack. Bumrah, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna for is Shardul Thakur, mainly because I think there would be some kind of rains, some kind of weather disruption, a little bit of moisture, sweating under the covers, and Jadeja is number five.
All right, that's Bharat's bowling combination. But before I get to Shubhayan and Shamik and ask the same question, Rohit is giving us all the updates from India's practice session, or let's say an unofficial outing at the Lord's Cricket Ground, and what India's upcoming practice session and the schedule will look like. So have a listen.
So, hello and welcome from London. I am here at the Lord's Cricket Ground, outside the Lord's Cricket Ground, outside the WG Grace Gate. Just want to inform you about an unofficial outing of Team India, which was yesterday. And they came here at the Lord's Cricket Ground. They had their, unofficial kind of a warm-up session there. They jog around, they did all their stretchings here, they did the warm-up drills. Nothing as far as batting and bowling is concerned, but they looked out to the facilities, the net facilities, the indoor facilities, especially around that nursery end area. And after that they will start their first official practice session at the Beckenham. So it's more than a 1 hour drive from here, by bus. It will take them more than an hour from the central London part to Beckenham. But officially, yes, the first net session will gonna be start from today, 1:30 local here in London. But their outing was at this very ground, Lord's Cricket Ground, and they did their first warm-up session there. Apart from this, there is obviously the world cricket and the who's who of world cricket are meeting here. Saurav Ganguly is here, Kumar Sangakkara is here. All the other big names are here at this point of time, and they are in the meeting at this point of time when I'm just outside the WG Grace Gate. But yes, the first update as far as the senior Indian team is concerned, the India A team, obviously day 3 going on in Northampton. But at this point of time in London, yesterday they had their first warm-up session. Today they're going to start with their first official practice session in Beckenham. We'll give you all the updates from there, from the Beckenham County ground. But yes, they started it from here, and now they'll carry forward it to Beckenham for their first official practice session, day one of Team India. Just want to request.
All right, so that was Rohit Juglan giving us the updates from London. Now he will be very soon in Beckenham and will be giving us all the updates from the practice session as well. So stay tuned to Ref Sports for more of that. But going over to you now, heading over to you, Shamik. When we talk about the first test, Leeds, Headingley, keeping the conditions in mind, what is your bowling combination?
I think, see, Gagi, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Nitish Kumar Reddy did very well with the bat in Australia, and on the face of it, he hasn't done anything wrong to be dropped. But then again, you are talking about the number 8 position. If you are picking someone at number 8 based on his batting ability, which signifies that you don't have that much of confidence in your batting group. So number 8 should be someone who is predominantly a bowling all-rounder. Nitish Kumar Reddy, as far as bowling is concerned, he is a better batsman than Shardul Thakur, but his bowling is deeply double stuff. Shardul Thakur, Shardul Thakur is not a 140 kilometers per hour bowler. He bowls around 130 to 134, but he has that knack of breaking partnerships, taking wickets, and he has. I mean, he is a proven performer, especially in these conditions. So going by that, if you are picking a number 8, because given that Ravindra Jadeja is your number 7, so it has to be Shardul Thakur. That would be the proper call. That will not be a defensive call. Now it's a young team. If you want to load your side with batsmen, at least for the first test, then I will. I mean, I can understand the thought process, but as Bharat Arun has also said in our interview with Boria, that in wherever you are playing, irrespective of the conditions, you need 5 bowlers. You need 5 bowlers to win a test match. It is about taking those 20 wickets. And in terms of taking those 20 wickets, as a backup fast bowler, as a backup seamer, Shardul Thakur is ahead of Nitish Kumar Reddy. It will be a tricky call, but I think at this moment in time, Indian Indian team is sort of settled in the sense that KL Rahul and Jassi Jaiswal will open. Sai Sudarshan at number 3, Shubman Gill at number 4. Number 5 is Rishabh Pant. Number 6 we have to see. Uh, 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 it has to be Ravindra Jadeja or someone else, and then we go into that all-rounder and bowling territory. So it is all but settled in the sense that number 8 is a tricky position, and I will put my money on Shardul Thakur, at least to start with.
Ripon Ghosh is asking when will India practice start? It will be at 1:30. That's what Rohit Juglan said. 1:30, not India time, of course. Beckenham when it's 1:30 over there. Shubhayan, your thoughts on the bowling combination? Will you go with the Shardul Thakur? What are your thoughts?
Now the concern is that even Shardul is not picking wickets in both the India games. That knack of picking wickets has somewhat vanished or has not come in front of us so far. He picked up 1 wicket, I think, in the last match, 1 or 2 wickets in the last match. This innings he has gone wicketless. Although he's bowling tight lines, but again. Uh, if you are playing Shardul, you expect him to pick wickets, at least a couple of them when the ball is swinging around or seaming around. Uh, I have a feel that they will go with both Nitish Reddy and Shardul Thakur in the playing 11. Nitish predominantly as a batter who can bowl a bit at number 6, and Shardul Thakur 7 Ravindra Jadeja, and number 8 with Shardul Thakur, a predominant bowler who can bat a bit, followed by your pace attack, which will be a three-man Siraj, Bumrah, and either of Prasidh Krishna and Akashdeep. I think that will be the starting point in case Shardul has gone, and Shardul can go Aubrey as well. He can spread the ball around. He can be a bit inconsistent with his line and length or on his very off day. So in case that happens during a test match, then India will have that option to rest up Shardul Thakur and bring a Nitish Reddy for a 4-5 over spell. In case Shardul is not picking wickets, you can try a Nitish Reddy when you are resting your pace bowlers. So I think they will go with, and you see, I always keep on telling our minds, our span of remembering things have lesson and lesson. He was one of India's best batters in Australia. Conditions different. I know it was not as hard as English conditions in Australia, but he did reasonably well, given that it was his first India series. Not only first India away tour, but first India series. He made a mark there. Very good technique with the bat, scored a century, scored runs in heaps, counter attacked when needed, played Scott Boland where all the Indian batters were struggling. He played Scott Boland with ease. So I think Nitish Reddy as a batter at number 6 can be a handy pick. Yes, Dhruv Jurel is pushing his case consistently with the kind of runs he's making for India A. But I think with Rishabh Pant already there, Dhruv Jurel's fielding, he's a decent fielder, he's a safe fielder, but he's not a Ravindra Jadeja or someone who can you pick just on the basis of his fielding. So I think Dhruv Jurel will have to sit out for Leeds Test, perhaps in Birmingham as well. But if in case Shardul or Nitish fail with the bat, with the ball, combination, pitch conditions, overhead conditions, as Bharat said, I think then you can see someone like a Dhruv Jurel come into play. You can never rule out a Kuldeep Yadav, but I think Kuldeep will mostly play in London, parts in Oval and in Lords. These are the two tests I have marked for Kuldeep Yadav. Apart from that, I think they will try at least start with two, both Shardul and Nitish Reddy, and then take a call basis on their performance.
Well, that was what our panelists thought, but what does Bharat Arun think? In an exclusive conversation with Boria, he spoke about what India's bowling combination could be throughout the Test series. Have a listen.
Raj and Arshdeep to start alongside Kuldeep is what you reckon, or will it also be on form conditions? Because India might just want an extra batter or a little bit of help. So Shardul Thakur might come in at number 8. How do you kind of visualize at least the starting, the Leeds Test match where there is going to be early summer. So there should be some assistance for the bowlers and some moisture.
I would definitely go. Siraj and Bumrah is a no-brainer. The other two bowlers would be the toss-up between. I would definitely go with Arshdeep because being a left-hander, and not many people even get to practice left-handers even in the net. So it's not always easy, especially if there is a skillful left-hander. He becomes all the more potent. And I would like to between Nitish Reddy and Shardul Thakur. That will be a choice between. They are pretty good. They are very handy. Nitish can also bowl 130 plus. Shardul also does the same. Shardul also is quite handy with the bat. So it will be a toss-up between who is bowling the best at that point of time, bowling and batting. They come in as an all-rounder because I think to win Test matches abroad, you need 5 bowlers. And
But will you play Kuldeep Yadav?
yes, I would play Kuldeep Yadav. I would play Kuldeep Yadav, even if not in the first innings. Second innings, he would be a handful to be dealing with.
All right. Well, Bharat, because we're talking about the bowlers, do you think there's a chance for, and this is a long shot. Do you think there is any way that Jasprit Bumrah's workload management can be managed such that he can play all 5 matches?
Yeah, see, I think they will take it test match by test match. See, for example, if India do well, India win the first test match, and they win it by convincing margin. I'm just talking it in an imaginary sense, and Bumrah doesn't bowl much. Then couple of test matches again, India do well. Then he might go on to play 4 test matches. So it basically comes down to I think test match by test match. Yes, they have a rough sketch that Jasprit Bumrah is going to play 3 test matches. But I don't think they will just adhere to that strictly adhere to 3 test matches. It is going to be test by test. If India don't do well in the first test, Jasprit Bumrah has to end up bowling some 30 overs in the first innings, 35 overs in the first innings, and then ends up bowling another 25 overs in the second innings. There itself 60 overs. Then it could be tougher for someone like Bumrah to go and play 4 or 5 test matches. Then it could likely be restricted to 3. I just want to add one more point, respectfully, as Bharat Arun talked about Arshdeep Singh. The one thing I have against Arshdeep Singh is, see, he's stubborn in first class cricket, at least whenever I watched him in first class cricket, is very much a new ball bowler. As soon as the ball gets old, Arshdeep Singh gets hit for a lot of runs in first class cricket. That is why maybe his first class average is something like 31. So India already have Bumrah who will likely open the attack, and with no Shami there, might be Siraj is going to be given a new ball as well. So if you have to pick Arshdeep Singh, then he has to bowl with a new ball. Otherwise, with the older ball, I'm not very sure he will get a lot out of him. But obviously, that's his viewpoint. Just wanted to add something on it.
No, no, even Arshdeep Singh, when that clip while playing for Kent, that delivery which seems around swings around against the right hander, that clip has gone viral multiple times now. Even when after his selection happened, that clip was doing the rounds. But he averages 41 for Kent, 13 wickets in County Division One. So there's something to read about it. Yes, people don't watch county cricket. I'm pretty sure about it. Whatever they gather from these Instagram clips and TikTok clips. But Arshdeep averaging 41 in county cricket is something which and that's what differentiates Arshdeep and Khalil Ahmed, in my opinion. That extra pace, extra zil. Khalil's second spell today was fire.
I just want to add a point on Khalil as well. I think his main strength is him being so unpredictable. As Australia Ace
Mhm.
batters themselves said after that series, whom do you pick as the best out of Mukesh Kumar, Prasidh Krishna, and Khalil Ahmed? Though Prasidh also took wickets, Mukesh took wickets. They went for Khalil. They basically said that he's so unpredictable. Sometimes he goes from round the wicket, sometimes he's bowling from over the wicket, sometimes his release point seems to be a little higher, sometimes his release point seems to be a little lower. So you're never really in against someone like Khalil Ahmad. I think that is what really works for him. He's more of a seam bowler compared to Arshdeep Singh being a swing bowler. But I think his unpredictability factor
He's
is
picked
what.
up four now. He has picked up four now. Another one.
Yes, yes, yes. Just saw that. His unpredictability factor really makes him, I think, a potent force at times, though he can go for runs as well.
Uh, all right. Chomek, your thoughts? Any chance of Bumrah playing all five?
No, absolutely not. If you are playing 5 test matches, you would have been captain in the team. That's because he's
We're
not
having
doing.
trouble with the audio.
Can you hear
Mike
me now? Am I
Takasino, Mike
audible?
Takasino.
Yeah, it's better
Let's
now.
go to Mike Takasino.
Am I audible now?
Mhm.
Okay, okay. So the thing is that absolutely he's not playing 5 test matches. If you are playing 5 test matches, you would have been captain in the Indian team. Simple as that. As because he's not playing 5 test matches, either 4 or 3. Ajit Agarkar at the press conference said it could be 3 or 4. Gautam Gambhir at the pre-departure press conference said it is 3. So for the first 2 test matches, there is about a 7-day gap. So I expect him, unless he is picking up another injury, I expect him to play the first test matches. Then the turnaround between the second test and the third test is short. So very unlikely that he would be playing the third test. And then we'll have to see how his body responds. Where the fourth test and fifth test, we'll have to see how his body responds. But as regards Arun's interview, I think he has a point in terms of Arshdeep Singh. Shubhayan made a good point in the sense Khalil and pace, and Khalil has a better cutting edge. I agree with that. But now that Khalil is not in the squad and Arshdeep in the squad, just for sake of variety, between Akashdeep and this guy, Arshdeep, Akashdeep is a good bowler. Not he's not a bad bowler. He's a good bowler, that's why he's in the India team. But Akashdeep, once the ball is a bit older, Akashdeep, Akashdeep loses his sting. So from
Same
that
issue
point
with
of view,
Arshdeep also. Same issue with
same, yeah,
Arshdeep also.
same issue with Arshdeep also. Absolutely, I agree, totally agree. But just that this left medium pace, that variety in that, if you have to, I think India will play safe and will go with Akashdeep as the third seamer in the first test match, because Akashdeep going along, he has been India's third seamer after Bumrah and Siraj. Now that Shami is not there, they will pick Akashdeep. But there is no harm. I mean, Arun has a point. Arun has a point. And that time I was struggling to remember who should be my number six. My number six is Washington Sundar.
All right, Shubhayan,
Interesting.
your thoughts on the same?
Interesting. On Bumrah or on Washington?
Washington.
No, I don't think he will start. Yes, I know that Gambhir likes Washington Sundar. He has done reasonably well, but if you are not using him as a bowler like what happened in Sydney, then better play a specialist batter there rather than going for Washington Sundar. If you have to play Washi, then I think it's better to play Dhruv Jural there. Leeds, I don't think there will be much purchase for the spinners. So and plus with English batters, they don't have any issue in facing finger spin off spin per se. So I think playing Washington can go against India as well. They can if Washi bowls a 5 over spell, he can end up conceding 30-40 runs if England batters decide to go full up against him. So that's a risky call. Risky call, yes, that will give you a one extra bowling option, but the same. I don't think Washi the bowler will be used much. And batting wise, I think Nitish Reddy has also not done anything wrong to get dropped. If you are just picking on the basis of who is a better all rounder, Washi in Indian conditions in Pune and Mumbai Test, he did very well. But in Australia, whatever chances he got with the ball as well, he did nothing. And even with the bat, I think he had only 130, 40 odd, if I remember correctly. But apart from that, he has not done nothing extraordinary to cement his place at number six. In Indian conditions, yes, definitely. But in Leeds, especially in Lords, Lords and Oval, you can have a debate around it. But I think Kuldeep being a specialist spinner will have an edge over Washi. But right now in Leeds, I don't think they will go with a second spinner. Otherwise, that will be the same case what happened in Sydney as well. In a green deck, you were playing two spinners, and then Washi got two pole when Australia needed just 10 runs to win.
But Shubhayan, Washi is basically a specialist batter who can bowl a bit of off
Nitish
spin.
Shetty is also a specialist batter. He was an opener. He was basically
But
an opener. He decided to come down because he started to bowl as well. He was an opener. Vijay Merchant, he broke the record all as an opener. Number three,
but
he used to play for Andhra as well as number three. Then he started to drop down because of his bowling.
Washi bats at number three for Tamil Nadu. So Washi
But
and
he
Washi.
started batting at number three from this season only. Before this
Yes, yes,
season,
yes, yes.
he used to bat at six, seven.
But before this season, he was struggling with his injuries also. He has been, his presence
That
was
that
slightly.
that how can we
But
help if he was struggling? But whenever he
yeah,
was fit, he was batting down the order. That's my point.
batting down the order, yes.
When
But
Ravi Shastri came on record and said Washi has to bat at number 3 or 4 for Tamil Nadu, it happened 4 5 years back, I think. So it's been a
and then
long
he
time
picked
that,
up that
that
injury.
yeah.
That
Then he
broken,
picked up
uh,
that
he
right, right,
suffered that broken finger.
right,
But
right.
I think Washi has a case in the sense I'm not saying that they will not play Nitish Reddy, but I will not be surprised if they start with Washi, especially as a batsman who can bowl a bit of off spin in at Headingley. That could be a case. That could be a case because this coach likes this left right combination also.
Ravindra Jadeja, you have a Ravindra
Ravindra
Jadeja if you
Jadeja.
want
So
to bat at number six, someone at number six, then
yeah,
followed by
but
Nitish Reddy at seven and Shardul at eight. You can do that also.
you have to keep in mind two things. One is that two players. One is Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, in terms of consistency, Rishabh Pant has been a bit blowing hot and cold over the last few years. Number one, and Ravindra Jadeja no longer remains the batsman of 2021 22 vintage. That is also another. So all
If,
keeping in mind,
if you hold it like that, then all the Indian batters, Shubman Gill averages pity in
but
overseas conditions. No one has scored runs. Sai Sudarshan is a newbie. Everyone is pretty new in this setup. So like that, so Yashasvi
let's
first
see.
tour in England. KL
Shubman
Rahul
has played
averages
only two tests.
36.
Shubman has played only two tests
And,
in England.
right.
Well, on that note, we have Bharat Arun talking about how important this series is for Shubman Gill and also the vice captain Rishabh Pant. Have a listen.
Pant as captain, vice captain. You think they're ready for the job now?
I think so, yes. Shubman Gill, to me, looks very calm and composed. Even when he was a youngster, he looked part. And I thought he has captained quite impressively in the IPL. Marshalling, not only marshalling the resources, using them judicially also was very, key to it. Also, when you look at him in the match, when you look at his body language, he didn't seem to be highly perturbed when there was a crunch situation. He seemed, at least on the surface of it, he seemed cool. So I think these are the traits of a very good captain. As far as Rishabh is concerned, his style is different, but also him staying behind the stumps, even when the situations where the bowlers were taken for runs, he seemed pretty cool to me. So I think to Rishabh Pant, MS Dhoni is one of his biggest, idols. So, and he spent a lot of time with MS. So I think that experience and the calmness and the coolness which MS Dhoni portrays, which MS Dhoni is known for during matches, Rishabh Pant, even if he imbibes some of those qualities, he will go on to be a good skipper.
All right. Well, final 4 5 minutes on the show. Let's take some comments here. Suma Namaste is saying, "What is more weak, England bowling or Indian batting? I think our batters perform well. If the batters perform well, we will win the series 3-1." Bharat, your thoughts?
Not very optimistic to say 3-1 and all. Yes, I think India will perform better than what many expect them to. But I'm not very sure of going with that kind of a score line. It might happen. See, I won't say England have a weak bowling lineup. I would say they have a very inexperienced bowling attack. Because I do rate someone like Bryden Cars. He's someone who can be relentless and works, at least in home conditions, he's definitely nowhere near Anderson's class, but that's on an overall basis. But in home conditions, he's definitely Anderson's equal, I feel. And on his day, it's a volatile bowler, but on his day, Joe Stone can prove to be a handful. So they have some pace bowlers out there, just that they're very inexperienced. And that is where I think it comes down to, if India are say 200 for 2, 200 for 3, I want to see how those inexperienced bowlers go, because that is when it really tests your character. You see, Indian batting lineup also has some fine, promising batters. I already talked about Jurel. I think is technically as good as anyone going around. I feel so. Looks really good on the eye, but obviously it's not just about technique. It's not just about template. You have to convert those runs, and you have to put runs on the board. He has done that against England previously in a Test series, although it was at home. So Jurel, Nitish Reddy also has a good technique, similar technique. Both have similar bases in terms of their methods. Jaiswal has scored a lot of runs. So again, it's not that India also have a weak batting lineup. I would say it's more about inexperience. Inexperience might cost the Indian batting unit. But I definitely feel India will do better than what many expect them to, though I'm not very sure about them winning the series.
All right. Sanvi is saying, how can Gill find success in England versus Hawks? And sure, I'm very scared for him. I don't want him to finish as a mediocre Test player. Shamik?
See, I totally agree with Anil Kumble. Uh, Recently, Anil
Mike,
Kumble made a
headphone and mic.
audible,
Ah,
audible. Achha, okay.
yes, yes.
Uh, See, I mean, I totally agree with Anil Kumble's observation. Recently, Anil Kumble made a comment saying that Shubman Gill will have to establish himself as a batsman first before establishing himself as a Test captain. So this is a very, very big challenge in the sense he will have to, unless he is establishing himself as a Test batsman, he cannot command the dressing room. That is, and at the end of the day, for any cricketer, it's not about the Instagram followers or social media Twitter followers, which is absolutely inconsequential. a cricketer knows whether he is rated in the dressing room or not. And for a captain, it is very, very important to have that respect from the dressing room. For Shubman Gill, he is a young captain. He's not. He just has been elevated to captaincy, and he will have to score runs. He will have to establish himself first as a batsman. If he can do that, he will get the respect of the dressing room. So it's a very, very challenging series for him. Let's see. And in fact, this series can be this series can be in I will not say make or break because he's still just 26-year-old, but fingers crossed. I hope he has a decent series. Nothing like not like Virat Kohli in 2013. Virat Kohli was not the captain. If Shubman Gales goes through the travails of Kohli in 2013, it can have a huge impact on him as a test batsman, not only as a test batsman, and also as a test captain. So, from that point of view, it is very, very important series. I am a big fan of Shubman Gill, the batsman. Big fan. I wish he succeeds. Obviously, he has a mature head on his shoulders, and that's why he has been given the job. I think he will do his preparations right. Even if he comes up with something sort of an average of 40 around that, I would call him. I would conclude as that he will have a successful series. That is it.
Also, I pointed about Chris Fox. See, I think the challenge for him is to find a way against Chris Fox's bubble ball. Somewhere it was he started out. Chris Fox started out by picking up the bubble ball from James Anderson, but that is one aspect I think where he
Tim
has.
South is also related to
Yeah,
somehow linked to the England squad, right? Bowling
yeah, yeah.
consultant.
Yes, yes, yes. He's now the bowling consultant. I'm saying
Mm,
somewhere in 2017 he picked it from his teammate Anderson. But that's one aspect.
mm.
I think he has left Anderson as well behind the wobble ball, and that is, I think, will trouble Shubman Gill because it is that nip packer that is consistently troubled him. He will use a lot of that wobble ball and try to get it back into the right hander. So yeah, his critics talk about how his hands are very high. Sometimes maybe he's not able to. That is why he's not able to negate that dip packer. Some of them tell that he doesn't really load his back foot, load press release. If you notice how Dhruv Jurel or Nitish Reddy bat even in Australia, both of them load press and then release. That is why their front foot goes towards the pitch of the ball and they're able to negate that and nip packer. So this is what the two these are the 2 points I think that keep going against Shubman Gill when it comes to the nip packer. Sometimes he's tried to address it. For example, he did it in the Test series against England last year when Anderson got him out in Ahmedabad. Not in Ahmedabad, he got him out in a Vizag Test. After that, he countered him by his load press and release technique. Then he went and played in IPL. Again, it seemed like he had to play differently. I think that is his biggest challenge, Test cricket and IPL, whereas to play differently in one format is to play across the line, and another format is to get this load press and release going and play with a very straight bat against the nip packer to negate that threat of one that's coming in. So hopefully he will get it right, adjust from the IPL to the world of Test cricket against Chris Fox's wobble ball.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be back. Obviously, Rohit will be back with more updates from Beckenham. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and press the notification bell button so you get all the updates super fast.